This book is one of the best sellers of all time, and for a really good reason. Today, we're going to crack open the secrets of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. We're going to boil down decades of wisdom into 5 super powerful minutes. So let's dive right in. Have you ever thought about that? Why some people just seem to effortlessly connect with others, persuade them, and kind of draw them in? It almost feels like magic, right? Well, it's a question that's fascinated people forever, and it's the big mystery Carnegie really wanted to solve. And here's the big secret. It's not magic at all. What Carnegie found out is that influence isn't some talent you're born with. It's a skill. It's actually a system, something you can learn for getting really good at the art of dealing with people. And that's exactly what we're about to walk through. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with one master key that unlocks everything else. Then we'll go step by step through Carnegie's 4 big ideas, the basics of handling people, how to make genuine connections, how to win people over to your side, and finally, how to lead without ticking people off. And make sure you stick around, because at the end, we'll talk about how you can actually start using this stuff. So, what is this master key? Well, it's a simple but really deep idea. Every single person has a powerful desire to feel important. That's it. Every single principle we talk about today is just a different way to genuinely make that happen for someone else. Let's see how it works in this first part. All right, first up, the foundation. Part 1 is all about getting the absolute basics of human interaction right. Before you can even think about persuading or leading anyone, Carnegie says you have to learn how to deal with people without making them resent you. And it all boils down to 3 techniques. These 3 pillars are pretty simple, but they're revolutionary when you use them. First, just don't criticize at all. Second, give people genuine appreciation. And third, try to see things from their perspective. Let's start with that first one, because it's the one most of us mess up all the time. Think about it like learning to ride a bike. If someone's just yelling at you every single time you fall, you're probably going to want to quit, right? But if they cheer you on, you feel inspired to get back up. Carnegie says criticism does the exact same thing in our relationships. It doesn't inspire change, it just makes people put up their defenses. Now, I love this slide because it makes such a crucial distinction. See, anyone can give you empty flattery. It's like a beautifully wrapped box with absolutely nothing inside. But genuine, specific appreciation, that's like a shot of positive energy. It builds real trust and makes people feel like you actually see them and value them. Okay, so now that we know the basics of how not to push people away, let's get into part 2, how to actively draw them in. This is where we learn how to build that magnetic personality we were talking about at the very beginning. So Carnegie gives us 6 golden rules here. And honestly, they all come down to one thing: shifting your focus from me to you. It's all about showing real interest, smiling, and, well, there's one technique in here that's so simple, but so many of us forget it. And this just nails it. Our names are a huge part of our identity. When you remember and actually use someone's name, you're not just being polite. You're sending this really powerful, unspoken message that says, I see you, you matter to me. But how do you actually do it? Well, here's a super practical trick. When you meet someone, just focus on their name for a second. Then repeat it back to them. It's really nice to meet you, Emily. Then in your head, create a little link, like Brian with the bright blue shirt. It turns a big idea into something you can actually practice. Oh, this is so important. Listening isn't just a passive thing where you're waiting for your turn to talk. It's an active dance. It's about paying attention to what's not being said just as much as what is. And when you do that, you make the other person feel truly, deeply heard. Okay, so people like you. Now what? Part 3 is where we make a big shift. From just building rapport to the art of gentle persuasion. How do you get people to see your side of things without starting a fight? This might be Carnegie's most famous and most surprising rule. He basically says you can't really win an argument. I mean, even if you win with the facts, you lose because you've damaged the relationship. The goal isn't to be right, it's to connect and find some common ground. So if you're not arguing, what are you supposed to be doing? You're building a bridge of empathy. You're making a genuine effort to see the world from their perspective. This isn't some trick. It's a real attempt to understand where they're coming from. This slide shows you the 2 paths you can take in any disagreement. One way is a total dead end, just flat out telling someone you're wrong. That immediately puts up a wall. But the other path, the one Carnegie suggests, is to open a door by asking a question. It shows them respect, and it invites a real conversation instead of a battle.
And that brings us to our final section, leadership. This is all about how you can guide people, correct them, and inspire them to change without making them feel resentful or destroying morale.
The number one rule of giving effective feedback is to start with something positive. When you begin with sincere praise, it just makes the other person so much more open to hearing constructive criticism. It's like that spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down. This slide just perfectly shows the two different approaches. Giving a direct order feels like you're barking commands, but just changing it into a question, that invites them to join in. It shows trust and respect, and it makes people want to work with you instead of just doing what they're told. This is a total game changer for anyone in a leadership role. Admitting your own mistakes first is such a powerful act of humility. It basically says, hey, I'm not perfect either, and we're in this together. It makes you more human, and it creates a safe space where people feel like they can learn and grow. Wow, okay, we've covered a lot of ground, from simple techniques to big leadership ideas. So now let's pull it all together and figure out how you can start using this stuff like today. If you forget every single thing from this explainer, please remember this one idea. Every principle we've talked about, using someone's name, not criticizing, giving honest praise, it's all just a different way of showing another person that you see them, you hear them, and you value them. And really, that's what this is all about. This isn't just some interesting theory. It's a call to action. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Out of everything we've just covered, which single principle are you going to consciously try to practice today? Because that's where true influence begins, with that one small change.